What's up guys, welcome back to the course. In this video, you're going to get to know the table of content of this course. So basically in this video, I'm going to explain things that you're going to do, things that you're going to learn in each chapter. And as you guys can see here, in total, we have 8 chapters in this course. So hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to have a general understanding about things that you can expect to learn from each chapter, right? So let's begin with the first one here. So chapter 1, whom this course is intended for. So in the first chapter, we're going to answer this particular question, whom this course is intended for. So I'm going to explain my intention behind creating the course and also like who are my main target students for this course. Obviously, if you're interested in self-driving algorithm, if you're interested in building autonomous car simulations, then this is definitely the right course for you. So we're going to talk about that more in the first chapter. All right, so let's move on to the next one here, the second chapter, tools, IDE, and libraries. So in the second chapter, I'm going to provide you with list of tools that we're going to utilize. I'm going to explain the programming language that we're going to use. Obviously, we're going to use Python. And for the IDE, I'm going to give you like some options. If you don't really like Visual Studio Code, I also give you like several other options for you to choose, right? Only because I'm using Visual Studio Code, it does not necessarily mean that you also have to do the same thing, right? If you want to use PyCharm, for example, feel free to use any IDE that you want. And I'm also going to provide you with a list of libraries, Python libraries that we're going to utilize in our project, all right? So that's chapter 2. Let's move on to the next one here, chapter 3, introductions to autonomous car. So I'm going to introduce you to the concept of autonomous car. I'm going to explain the technology behind autonomous car and self-driving mechanism. I'm also going to explain the limitations and capabilities of autonomous car. All right, so that's chapter 3. For those of you who are already familiar with this concept, feel free to skip that chapter. However, if you're not really familiar with it, make sure that you stay in that chapter and pay very close attention to chapter 3, right? Because you're going to gain the basic understanding about the project that you're going to build, right? It's very important for you to understand first what you're going to build before actually building the project, all right? So that's chapter 3. Chapter 4, I'm going to provide you with full step-by-step tutorial on how to set up all the required tools. All right, so I'm going to guide you on how to install your Visual Studio Code. Just in case you haven't installed it yet, install your Python. Just in case you haven't installed Python yet to your computer. All right, I'm also going to guide you on how to install all relevant libraries for our project. But if you already have your Visual Studio Code ready, if you already have your Python, then you can feel free to skip chapter 4, right? And chapter 5, it's going to be basic Python training session. For those of you who are confident with your Python programming skills, feel free to skip chapter 5. However, if you're not really confident with your Python programming skills, make sure that you stay in chapter 5 and pay very close attention to all concepts that we're going to learn there, right? Because you're going to be more prepared if you pay very close attention to chapter 5. It's going to be a very useful preparations for you guys before getting into the project. All right, so we're going to learn different data types. We're going to learn how to build functions, how to pass down parameters to the functions. You'll learn how to build class in Python, and also just basic introductions to PyGame, right? Because we're going to utilize PyGame for our project. And chapter 6, building the project, autonomous car simulation. So that's like the most important part of this course. Obviously, that's like the main component. We're going to build the project from scratch, all right? And I think it's going to be like the best part, but also the most challenging part too at the same time. So yeah, expect to see many challenges, expect to see errors when you compile your code. That's totally fine. Just don't give up, guys. Just don't give up. If you have any questions, if you're stuck, just let me know, right? So I'm always available to answer whatever your question has, and I'm always available to help you, all right? So don't worry. So that's chapter 6, and the next one here, chapter 7, testing the project. So yeah, once the project has been built, we're going to be conducting testing to make sure the code works the way it's supposed to, right? So we're going to make sure our autonomous car simulations works well, all right? So that's chapter 7. And chapter 8, conclusion and summary. So I'm going to summarize all things that we've learned so far, and I'm also going to share a few tips and tricks on how to take all these skills and knowledge that you learned in this course to another level, right? Maybe you want to build your own simulator, you want to build your own game, your racing game, or whatever project or whatever goals that you have in the future, right? So that's going to be chapter 8, and I think that's it. That's all you need to know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.